Hi, my name is Adnat Admoni. I'm the chef and owner of Balabusta restaurant in New York City. And today we're going to make Aruk, which is beautiful herbs and potato patties that have something that I really like called baharat, which is a blend of spices that make it really delicious. This is something I used to eat on Saturday morning. My mom would cook it on Friday and we eat that together with some other sauces like tahini and amba sauce. It's really easy to make. It's ingredients that's super accessible that everybody can make at home. And we're going to start with onion. It's a great exercise. So now we're going to take some of the juice. We don't want it to be too wet. Yes. I a lot of time keeping the juice to marinate some meats. Really delicious. Even pieces of chicken. So now we have this grated onion. We're going to cut the potato. We bake the potato before until it's soft, until you can mush it. Trying to take all the peel, scrape everything out of it. You can play with the herbs. Here we have today cilantro, parsley, and scallion. You can definitely add the different things, like a little bit mint inside. And the reason that we bake and not boil this potato, because we don't want the mix to be too wet. Now, you can do it by hand, you can do it by mashed, how you call that thing? The masher. Now we're gonna have all these beautiful herbs, fresh cut inside. We're gonna have 2 eggs, and I'm going to do something that my mom always taught me, is to take all the egg white. Now we have paprika, we have cumin, and we have baharat. Baharat is a mix of spice that contains a lot of different things, and it's changing depending on the person that make that. These baharat have a little bit rose petals, something I personally really like, but it's have a lot of warm spices like cinnamon and clove and nutmeg and allspice. And we're gonna put all this flavor inside. We're gonna put some salt, around 1 tablespoon. Black pepper, and we're going to mix it. And here I have some flour, but I'm going to wait with it for a little bit just to feel the texture before. Now, if you want gluten-free, just use a different flour that can bind it, such as cornstarch will do okay, potato flour, any mix of gluten-free flour will work. You can keep some of the potato chunks, but you don't want it too big, so break that down. It's good. Delish. All right. We didn't even put the flour. So right now, because this potato been baked so perfectly, you don't need much. We're gonna put just a little bit. But if the potato is a little bit too moist and you don't squeeze enough of the onion juice, you will need all this flour inside. So we're gonna wrap it. We're gonna keep it in the fridge for around half an hour. And in the meantime, we're gonna make some nice sauce that's gonna go perfect with it. And usually I do it with roasted red peppers, but today we have some like peppery harissa. We have a beautiful quality raw tahini, and we're gonna start with that. Now, it's super, super important when you make tahinis to choose the best one. And how you know if it's a really good one? You just need to taste it. So the texture need to be very, very smooth and not grainy. The taste need to be very nutty, but have some sweetness on the back. And when you start incorporate it with the rest, it needs to be fluffy and lighter in color and delicious. So we start with that. We're gonna have some lemon. I like my tahini very lemony. I think it's balanced it out perfectly. Here we have this harissa. We're gonna put a little bit more paprika here because I want it reddish. And I have a really pinch of honey. You don't need a lot. And if the harissa is not spicy enough, you can do some any chili flakes. Usually what I do, I roast some peppers and peel them and some Fresno, and I have the balance of spicy peppers and sweet peppers. And now I have ice water. And it's very important that it's ice water super cold, because tahini, it's fatty. And other things, don't keep tahini on your fridge. Please keep your tahini in your pantry. It's no need to be in the fridge. But it's very important when you do the sauce, you want to keep it after in the fridge, and you want to keep the consistency similar, so you start with cold water. We mix. See how harder it gets? And don't get scared when it's look broken at the beginning, because it's going to come together. And just continue mixing. You're going to have a little bit pepper. I have a feeling it's need a little bit more salt and definitely more water. You can keep tahini for several days. Sometimes I put garlic in a microplane inside. If you use the garlic, you want to eat the tahini the same day or maybe day after. But a lot of time I'm not adding any garlic, and then you can keep the tahini even up to a week. And that's great. You make a big batch and you can eat it for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And look at that. Nice color, texture is great. Gonna try this. Very good. Tiny more salt. And actually I want more spice. Now it's very good. That's it. Now when we have a mix ready, we heat up some oil. I use grapeseed oil or canola oil. You don't want to use olive oil to burn too fast. And I have a bowl of water right on my right to keep my hand clean. And we're gonna make we can make a bit bigger. So this is also one of the tradition is to eat it on Friday, you know, when every mom in Israel is preparing the Shabbat and going nuts with it. Yes. They make some patties, like Aruk patties to eat. And I think the first time I ate this, it's at my friend mom named Berta, and it was so delicious. Now, even though my mom is Iranian, she grew up all her childhood in Iraqi home, so we grew up on Aruk and every Iraqi Jewish food as well. These patties can go with tzatziki, a yogurt sauce, and labneh. In Israel, most of the time it will always go with tahini because kosher. So very important that your oil is super hot. Like after it's really get hot, you can take it down a notch. And in order to know if it's hot, you can just take a tiny piece and put and see the sizzling and the bubbles that going around. And there is some crispy around it. So when I came out with my co-writer Jana Gur about Shuk Cookbook in 2019, I really want to showcase some Israeli food that a lot of people not familiar. And Aruk, it was one of those. One of the things that's super easy to make, super delicious, can go with a lot of different sauces, some nice chopped salad next to it, and you have a beautiful meal. A little bit more than salt. Can I try? And I should, no? This is good. This is good. You can find this recipe in the Shuk Cookbook. You can play with it and be creative. But if you're going to follow the recipe as it is, I promise you wouldn't regret. It's really good. Thank you for watching. Too confident? To go.